Welcome to a Management Plus webinar. My name is Kevin Sloan. I'm a certified electronic health record specialist and certified ophthalmic technician. Management Plus is an industry leader in electronic health records, and we want to provide you with the tools and the skills to use these tools proficiently. Today's webinar is titled Electronic Health Record Attachments. The highlights of this discussion will be: Number 1, keeping attachments organized. Number 2, quickly finding all attachments for all past records. And number 3, adding and exporting attachments. Let's get started. Got a patient here with an exam that was done today. Let's take a look at the attachments and organize those. We're going to do this by double-clicking that to reopen the record and going directly to the attachments section. You can see that there were 3 attachments added earlier. They may have been done via an interface, or they may have been added manually. We'll talk more about that in just a minute, but we're going to organize these. The best way to organize these is to assign them an attachment type and a description. You can do this by clicking into this attachment type column, and you'll see that there's a drop-down arrow. You'll want to select from one of these options here. So this is an Amsler grid, and you'll find that there is not one that's specifically designed for Amsler grid, which is perfectly fine. You don't necessarily have to sort by the attachment type. If you don't want to, you can give it a different attachment type, or you can leave it blank. In this case, we're going to leave it blank. The second one here is an image of a fundus photo. You can click this drop-down arrow and pick fundus photos, or you can type the letter F, enter, and then tab, and that's perfectly fine to do that. This third attachment here is a holiday IOL. So let's say it was done by a LensStar. You can type the letter L for LensStar, press tab, and now you've sorted these. You can also add a description. Okay, you can see that this says Amsler grid, but you don't really know which eye that it was done on. If there was something drawn on this, you can see that there's some blank areas here. Looks like the patient has indicated that this section is blank, this horizontal line. And if this was the right eye, I would recommend in uppercase so that it can be easily sorted. Okay. This particular LensStar, this is of both eyes, and you can type in a description like that. You'll want this to be unique so that you can use this as a filter later. Okay. And this is obviously the right eye, so you can type in there fundus OD or FP OD, whatever is standard in your office. You want this to be unique. So there's 2 ways of organizing your attachments. You'll notice that now that because I've assigned fundus photos and LensStar an attachment type, you'll see a little number 1 next to this and a number 1 next to that. If you go to those, these are predefined filters, essentially, is what they work out to be. So fundus photos is a filter, so when you've assigned 1 or more fundus photos with that attachment type filter, when you come here, you'll be able to identify only the fundus photos with just that filter. Same way with LensStar. They will display a number next to that. You can be on any form at any given time, and you'll always see these numbers here. So a physician can quickly look down in this lower left corner and identify what attachment filters are containing at least 1 or more file. If they don't have an attachment type as part of that, doesn't necessarily mean that there isn't one there. It may not have been assigned. So to see all of them, you'll want to click on the attachment. And in this case here, you can see that this one does not have an attachment type assigned. Also, when it comes to sorting these, every one of these column headers is a different way to sort. You can sort by type. So if you want to click the little filter, which pops up here when you hover over it, you'll notice that every column has that little filter that pops up when you hover over that. You can choose which one it is. If it's fundus photos, now you see only the fundus photos. So you can filter them out right here. You can do more than one filter, fundus photos and lens star. Okay. Or if you just want blanks, okay, there's an attachment type of blanks, so you can strip out everything else other than that. You can manually remove that by just unchecking this, or if you have one or more, it's just as simple as to click the red X and it'll go back to its default. You can also sort each one of these by clicking the column name. You click it once, and then again you'll notice that it alpha sorts them, so lens star is at the top, the blank is at the bottom. Click it again and it reverses that. Same way with description. Okay. Now a holiday is at the top. Click it once more, it reverses that. Same way with all of these. It just flips them around in the order, so it alpha sorts them. Same way with the timestamp. Of course, the timestamp is basically the same. They were all added at the same time. And the same way with the staff. You'll notice that there's only one for the staff since the same person had imported all of those in at the same time. You could filter by size, but they're always pretty much going to be unique. So some of these, it's not all that useful to sort by. Others are. And you can always do more than one. So if I wanted only the images that were imported by this particular user, and I wanted just the fundus photos, you can certainly do that and drill it right down the one. So now we have two filters in place. You can clear those all out by just one click right there. Okay, should be quite easy to go back to your office and be able to sort and organize those quite easily. Number 2 on our list of highlights is to quickly find all attachments for all past records. Since I'm inside of this record, the best way to do this is to click the All tab. This will show you all the attachments for all the records. You'll notice that the scroll bar has become smaller over here to where there's more space, identifying more. This blue line, you can always move this up to show more of those if you so choose to. So that's a nice option to eliminate some of the scrolling that's part of that. By default, it'll be somewhere in this area. So this will show you all of the attachments for all the past records. Visit is just the attachments for this visit. When you right click, you'll notice you have all of these options here. When you're on the All tab and right click, you don't have near as many. That's because you're dealing with past attachments for past records. So be careful with that, so that if you're looking here at this, if you're not looking closely, you might think that you're on the Visit tab, and you may think that you have all of these attachments unless you looked at the timestamp. So just pay close attention to that. Easy mistake to make. So if you're viewing just the attachments for this visit versus all the visits here. Sorting and organizing is the same way, although you cannot assign an attachment type for a past attachment. You'll notice I cannot get the drop down for that. Oops, I double click that. You can sort them. So if you want to sort by glasses RX, now we have all of that sorted right there in the normal way. You can also flip them around so the blanks are on the top, and then go alpha sort and reverse. So now we have the last letter right there. Same way with description. Okay, A is at the top, click it once more, and then the W's are at the top. Every one of these will work the very same way. Okay. It's also to be noted that this timestamp isn't necessarily the date of the record that this was saved on. This timestamp is the date and time that it was added to the record, which could be on a date that was after the patient was seen. There are several of these that were done that way. So if you try to look for a record with that particular date on the date of service, you may not find it. And that's because it was added after the fact. So be careful with that. Does not necessarily mean that that was the date that the patient was seen, but in most cases it will be. But just be aware of that so you don't necessarily make a mistake and wonder where the record was with that date. Okay. Also, if this is an image that you're looking for, you can click this little icon here at the top and it will default to visit, which will show you all the image files for this visit. And then the All tab will just show you all of the images for all of the records. Okay, you can click on that. Okay, you can double click on this as well. Double clicking doesn't seem to work with the video capture. So you'll right click and open, and you can always modify this to look at it a little bit better and scroll through the images. That's a little bit beyond this talk, but it's another way to organize and locate past attachments, and image files are attachments. Okay, you'll see here that we have DOC files, bitmaps, PDFs, and JPEGs. Image files are only going to be file extensions such as a JPEG, TIFF, or a bitmap. You won't see a PDF on this when you're viewing that. Okay, so you can see bitmap here and JPEG. I don't have any TIFF files, or if there was, it would be visible there. Okay. Hopefully that will help you find your attachments much quicker, so you don't spend a lot of time in the exam room searching for those. Again, the All tab and the Visit tab. The third highlight of this discussion is adding and exporting attachments. There's multiple ways to add an attachment. The most common method is to use your interface button. So let's go up here to special testing, and let's just say we've done an OCT on this patient, and we want to bring all of the OCT images into this record. I'm going to click the OCT1 button. Okay, it has acquired those images, and now you can see down here that the OCT filter has 2 files. I don't really have to even go to the attachments because I know that they're there. You could click this and you can see here's my first one, here's the second one. Okay? That interface button was set up with a predefined filter. That's why it showed up here with the 2 on here, and it already had that in here. The description is just going to be the description that is set up there by default. You can always go into this and change it if you so choose to. Okay. Certainly you can type in whatever you want. Again, I do recommend uppercase so that you can use those as a filter. If I were to just keep the same filter on there, this would be a scenario where I could filter out just the OCT OUs, and now you have both of those. If I would have left the fast macula on there, it would be a unique filter. So you'd have to select the OCT OU and the fast macula if you wanted to do that. Because I removed it, it's actually gone now. But if I typed it back on there, you'd see that we have the 2 filters here now. So you have full access to these and how you want those displayed. Excuse me. If I select this and select that, you'll see how it adds those appropriately. Okay. That's one way of adding an attachment. Excuse me. Another way to add those is to right-click on here and do import. Import will bring you out to your computer or the network location where you last searched. In this case here, test results was the last folder that I accessed. If you were to import, it works like a cut command. It's going to take it out of this location and put it in here. Okay, that works great. If you want to keep that other folder cleared out, excuse me, copy into visit will do just that. It will actually come out here and copy whatever you choose into that, plus leave it in there. So if I choose this, do open, there's the new file right there. You have to give it an attachment type and description if you so choose to. Another way to do this is to link a file. Link will allow you to just choose this, but it does not actually bring the file into Management Plus. It will just provide a link. It will work perfectly as long as this image file or other type of file stays in that location. If you were to move this file from that location, it would break the link and you would not have access to it anymore. Okay. You can also scan, which would allow you to access your scanning software to bring a scanned image file into the record as well. Exporting attachments. Very easily done. You can right-click, export, and it'll navigate out to your computer. You can choose your computer wherever you want to go to and whatever folder you want to go to, and it will just dump a copy of it right there as well. Okay. You can also put it on your network and browse your network to any other computer and just place a copy of it in that location there. Okay. If you're on the All tab, you can also export. Works the same way, just navigates to your computer. You can always export out more than one. So if you wanted this one, and this one, you would select those three, holding the Control key, right-click, export, navigate to your computer, choose your location, and it'll place a copy of it right there. And leave a copy in this as well. Do the same thing here on this. So if you wanted both the OCTs and this one here, right-click, export, navigate to your computer, choose the location, and do OK, and it'll place a copy of it there. Makes for very quick and easy file manipulation within your attachments section. That completes the objectives for this webinar. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any other questions, feel free to email me. My email address is ksloan@managementplus.com, or you can email the EHR General Support Department at ehrsupport@managementplus.com, or you can reach me by dialing the main Management Plus number and then choosing extension 209, or following the prompts to get to the EHR General Support Department, and we would be happy to answer any other questions that you have in regards to the highlights of this discussion. Thank you very much for your attendance. Have a great day.